You turned on two-factor authentication and thought you were safe. Millions of people did exactly the same thing, and hackers are absolutely loving it. Here is the uncomfortable truth that cybersecurity companies rarely advertise: two-factor authentication, the thing sold to you as the gold standard of account security, can be bypassed in under 30 seconds by a moderately skilled attacker. And it is happening right now, at massive scale, to ordinary people just like you. Let me break down exactly how this works so you never fall for it. The attack is called real-time phishing, and it was documented extensively by researchers at Amnesty International back in 2018 when they uncovered a campaign targeting journalists and activists across 12 countries. But what started as a nation-state tactic has now trickled down to every low-level cybercriminal on the planet. Here is the sequence. An attacker builds a fake login page, say a perfect copy of your Gmail or your bank. When you type in your username and password on that fake page, their server instantly relays those credentials to the real website in real time. The real website then sends a two-factor code to your phone. You type that code into the fake site. The attacker's server immediately forwards it to the real site. They are now logged in. The entire exchange takes between 15 and 45 seconds. Your code, which expires in 30 seconds, gets used before you even realize anything happened. This is not theoretical. In 2022, a hacking group called Scatter Spider, also known as UNC 3944, used this exact technique to breach Twilio, Cloudflare, and over 130 other companies. They sent text messages to employees saying their accounts needed verification, directed them to real-time phishing proxies, and captured live session tokens. Twilio confirmed that 125 of their employee accounts were compromised through this method. The tool they used, called Evilginx 2, is freely available on GitHub. Security researcher Kuba Gretzky released it in 2017 as a proof of concept, and it has been downloaded hundreds of thousands of times. It acts as a man-in-the-middle proxy, transparent to the victim, completely invisible unless you are actively inspecting URLs with forensic attention. Even security professionals have been caught off guard. A 2023 report by the Anti-Phishing Working Group found that real-time phishing attacks increased by 1,265% compared to 2019 levels. 1,265%. That is not a typo. Now here is the deep layer that makes this terrifying. Even authenticator apps like Google Authenticator and Auth are vulnerable to this method, because the attack does not break the cryptography. It simply steals the active session token after authentication is already complete. Once you are logged in, the attacker holds a valid cookie that keeps them logged in for hours or even days, depending on the platform. The only authentication method that is genuinely resistant to this attack is a physical hardware key like a YubiKey, or the newer passkey standard built on FIDO2 protocols, because those systems cryptographically bind the login to the specific domain you are on. A fake domain cannot impersonate the cryptographic handshake. So what do you actually do right now? First, switch to passkeys wherever available. Google, Apple, Microsoft, and PayPal all support them as of 2024. Second, if passkeys are not available, use a hardware security key. They cost around $50 and they are the only SMS and app alternative that actually stops proxy attacks. Third, always manually type URLs for sensitive sites instead of clicking links, and look for the padlock combined with the exact domain spelling before you enter anything. Two-factor authentication is still better than nothing, but understanding its limits is what keeps you one step ahead of attackers who are counting on your false sense of security.